I'm 26 at that point, now a bit older. I had just gotten out of a long-term breakup, like the kind of breakup where your bones hurt, the kind where even doing laundry makes you cry because, oh, that's his hoodie, and oh, I used to fold socks with him. Pathetic, I know. I've always been monogamous to a fault, clingy maybe, but I don't get casual. I don't get blurred lines. I like my categories. Friend, boyfriend, stranger. Neat little boxes. Except, apparently everyone around me decided that boxes were a joke. My closest friend from college, we'll call her Amira, had been dating this guy, Ryan, since we were all teenagers. Like 6 years of shared memes, long-distance calls, random breakups that lasted 2 weeks but ended with even cuter reunion posts on Instagram. They were that couple. The, oh my god, they'll totally get married couple. And eventually they did decide to get married. Which fine, yay for love. Except not yay. Not even close. So one night, they came over to my flat around 8 p.m. I lived alone back then, small place but cozy. We used to do girls' nights all the time. Wine, trash TV, crying about dumb things, staying up until 2 a.m., whispering secrets like we were 15 again. This time, she brought him, with whiskey and beer and this weird vibe like I was the third wheel in my own apartment. They're drinking, chatting, kissing, like literally lip-locking while I'm sitting right there. So awkward, I could feel my organs folding in on themselves. I look away, obviously, because ew. And then he says, sorry, with this smirk, as if I cared. Like, why is he apologizing to me for kissing his fiancé? Fast forward, Amira tags out super early. Like, one beer in, yawning, says she's tired, and just disappears. Not even to my bed, which she always used when she stayed over, but into the next room, where there's literally no bed. She curled up on the floor like some feral cat. I thought it was weird, but whatever. Maybe she was drunk tired. So it's me and Ryan, just sitting there, with the whiskey, talking. At first, it's normal. How's life? What's work like? That kind of thing. But then he starts nudging me to talk about my breakup. And I do, because I'm stupid and raw and the alcohol's hitting. And he's listening in this weirdly intense way, like he's memorizing details. Like every time I mentioned something my ex used to call me, I could see his eyes flicker like he was pocketing it. Eventually, I retreat to my room. I'm ready to sleep, pull the blanket over, close my eyes. And then he's just there, standing inside my room like it's the most normal thing in the world. He lights a cigarette on my balcony. I pretend I'm asleep. And then, wow. He climbs onto my bed casually, like it's a couch, like he lives here, and he starts talking to me in that same calm, philosophical tone about how maybe my breakup pain would disappear if I just kissed someone, if I just let myself be free. He leaned over me. He called me by the pet names my ex used, the ones I had stupidly shared earlier when I thought we were all friends here. I froze. I kept saying no, but so weak, like my throat was closing. And the craziest part, he said even if Amira found us in the morning, she'd be fine with it, that she understands. Do you know what that does to your brain? You start wondering if you're the crazy one. Like maybe they have some secret open relationship I didn't know about, and now I'm the prudish idiot making it weird. I locked my door after he left. I cried into my pillow, and the next morning, I pretended like nothing happened. And here's the kicker. I stayed friends with them. Okay, so pause here for a second, because I need to explain why I stayed. Because if you're reading this, you're probably screaming, girl, what the fuck? Cut them off. But I was 26, I was broken, I had no other close friends in the city, and part of me wanted to believe I'd misunderstood it, that maybe he really had just been drunk and weird. So I brushed it off. We stayed close, they got married, I smiled in all the photos like nothing was wrong. And then a year later, it happened again. We went on this girls' trip, except it wasn't just us girls because, of course, he got invited to join us at the resort one of the nights. Amira's idea. Apparently, he just so happened to be nearby. Right. They bring in an extra single mattress for him, except guess who ends up sleeping in it? Amira! Like, why would she put herself on the floor mattress and leave him to share my bed? He slid in beside me like it was nothing, joking, snuggling, acting like we were kids, having a sleepover. I froze again. I didn't know how to react because now part of me was like, is this just how they are? He even tried to pull her into the bed with us at one point like he was making this some big joke. Later, when he finally left to sleep with her, he made this gross remark, don't mind if you hear any sounds, there's a husband and wife sleeping down here. I wanted to throw up. And still, I stayed. The thing is, this isn't even the weirdest part, because looking back, I'm starting to wonder if Amira knew. Maybe not the full details, but something. The way she always conveniently fell asleep early when he was around me. The way she'd say cryptic stuff in our group chat later like, LOL, you and Ryan are basically siblings at this point. Like, what? And then one time, he DM'd me late at night. Screenshot attached below because otherwise I feel like I'm gaslighting myself. Ryan, 1:43 a.m., you know you're the only one who actually listens. She just scrolls on her phone when I talk. Me, seen, no reply. And the next morning, Amira texts me. Hey, just ignore Ryan if he said anything dumb last night. LOL, he gets emotional after drinking. Except I hadn't even told her he texted me. So how did she know? I feel like I'm losing it. I don't know if I'm the victim here or the idiot who stayed too long or the accidental mistress in some bizarre open secret arrangement. Every time I try to talk myself into cutting them off, I think about how Amira hugged me at her wedding and whispered, "You're my only real family," into my ear. I think about how she once defended me when someone else called me pathetic for crying about my ex. And then I remember her husband's hands on me, his voice using my ex's pet names. And I just shut down. So remember how I said I brushed things off? Yeah, apparently brushing things off is my Olympic sport, because instead of pulling back from Amira and Ryan, I got deeper in. Like tangled in their whole domestic ecosystem. I don't even know when it started shifting from best friend to unpaid emotional mediator for their marriage. But suddenly, I was the person they both came to, separately. Amira would text me like, he's impossible sometimes. He still thinks memes are love language. And then literally an hour later, Ryan would DM me. She acts like I'm boring if I don't post her on IG every week. Is it really that deep? Like, am I a therapist? Am I their shared diary? Why was I CC'd on their relationship? At first, I thought it was normal venting. Couples do that. But it got invasive. Sometimes he'd quote things Amira told me privately, which means he was either reading her phone or she was telling him my side too. Like, she told me you said I should listen more. I do listen. You're the only one who notices when I do. The way my stomach dropped when I read that, like, why is my feedback in your marital fights? The real chaos started around my birthday. I invited a small group, like 10 people, mostly coworkers and old college friends. Amira and Ryan obviously came. Everything was fine until cake cutting. I was literally mid-sentence thanking everyone for coming when Ryan leaned over me, knife in hand, and said loud enough for the room to hear, "Don't worry, guys, I'll make sure she gets the first piece. She likes chocolate, right? Amira told me." The room laughed, but it was that awkward laugh. I froze because, yes, I do like chocolate, but the way he said it, like he knew some intimate detail nobody else did, made it sound like we were secretly close. And Amira, she just smiled. Smiled. Like she wanted people to think it. Later that night, my coworker pulled me aside and whispered, "Are you and him?" Like, I almost screamed. The group chat stuff got messier too. We had this shared chat, me, Amira, and Ryan, and a few mutuals. One night, someone joked about hall passes, and Ryan immediately typed, "If I had one, it'd probably be someone close to home." Wink. The chat blew up with emojis, everyone assuming he meant Amira, but then he sent me a private DM literally seconds later. "Don't overthink that. I meant you." And then, wow, the main chat pinged again. Amira said, "LOL, I know who he meant, but it's fine. We're secure." Like, what? Does she know? Is she testing me? Are they both playing with me? I didn't reply. I couldn't. I just left the phone face down and paced my apartment like I was about to explode. Fast forward a month, dinner party at their place. Small group again, mostly Amira's extended cousins who don't know me well. Halfway through, Ryan refills my glass and says, "You always take it neat, right?" And one of the cousins goes, "Wow, you know her well." Amira, deadpan without missing a beat, says, "Of course he does. She basically lives here." Everyone laughed. My ears rang. By the way, I had never once spent the night at their place, ever. So that was just a lie or a weird joke or, well, a way to set up some narrative I wasn't in on? Oh, and then came the voice notes. Amira has this habit of sending long, rambling ones when she's tipsy. One night I get this 4-minute voice note. She starts with normal stuff, work stress, wanting to dye her hair, but then she drops this line that derailed me completely. "Sometimes I think, if anything happened to me, at least I know he'd have you. Like, he'd be taken care of." Like, I replayed it 20 times. What does that mean? Why would you say that? The escalation point was their anniversary party. Big gathering, rented hall, fairy lights everywhere, her family, his family, all the mutuals. I didn't even want to go, but she begged. During speeches, Ryan goes up with the mic, arm around Amira. He says the usual lovey stuff, but then, looking right at me, he goes, "And thank you to Jane, my name, for always being there for us. Honestly, sometimes it feels like we're a trio, not a duo." The whole room left. I wanted the ground to eat me alive. Amira kissed him right after, and I swear, when she pulled back, she winked at me. At this point, I couldn't tell if I was being groomed, gaslit, or pranked on some cosmic level. Every instant in me screamed something is off, but every time I tried to pull away, one of them would reel me back in. Amira would send, "I miss you, don't drift away" texts. Ryan would DM me, "Are you mad at me? Did I do something?" Like I owed him reassurance. And then the worst part, sometimes I caught myself liking it, liking the attention, the closeness, the way being in their orbit made me feel like I mattered, like I was special. And then I'd hate myself for it. I wish I could tell you I cut them off before it got this bad. I wish I could say I had an ounce of self-preservation left in me. But no. Instead, I let myself get dragged to the single most deranged dinner I've ever been to. Amira's parents invited me, personally. Like I got a call from her mom, not her. "You'll come, won't you? Your family." She said it in that sweet, syrupy tone that makes no sound impossible. I tried to make excuses, but she cut me off with, "Amira would be so hurt if you're not there." So, of course, I went. It was one of those formal family dinners where the table is too long, there's too much cutlery, and the air feels like it's been ironed. I sat wedged between one of Ryan's cousins and Amira's aunt, who only spoke in passive-aggressive compliments like, "Oh, you're still single. That's good. Less distraction." Amira looked perfect. Hair-pinned, soft smile, every inch the golden daughter. Ryan was in full host mode, topping glasses, telling jokes, and for about 20 minutes, I convinced myself maybe I'd hallucinated the last year of my life. Until dessert. We're passing around plates, chatter buzzing, when Ryan places a slice in front of me. He doesn't just place it. He leans down, murmurs just loud enough for the nearby relatives to hear, "Your favorite, right?" I remembered. And there it was, the silence. The microsecond freeze in conversation as everyone clocked it. Amira looked at me, not at him, at me. And then she laughed. Of course he remembers. He always remembers her preferences. The table chuckled politely, but it wasn't light. It was loaded. I could feel eyes digging into me, cataloging me. I wanted to vanish. After dinner, people milled around in the living room, wine, polite gossip. I was trying to leave when I felt my phone buzz. New message from the group chat we all shared. "Ryan, if I disappeared, would you miss me?" My blood went cold. I looked up from my phone, and across the room, he was staring at me while holding Amira's hand, smiling. Before I could even react, another message dropped in the same chat, from Amira. "Amira, she would, she always does." Like, what? I shoved my phone in my pocket and bolted for the bathroom before I screamed. I locked the door, tried to breathe, checked my DMs. There was already a private one from him waiting. "Ryan, 9:41 p.m. Don't overthink. I'm just saying what you can't." My hands were shaking so hard I dropped the phone in the sink. And then, as if scripted by some demonic playwright, I get a voice note in the group chat from Amira. I swear my knees almost buckled just reading the preview. I think it's time people knew the truth. I didn't even press play. I couldn't. When I finally came out, the room was quieter. Too quiet. People were looking at me like I'd missed something. Amira stood in the center, glass raised, smiling that same tight smile. "Two unusual bonds," she said. Everyone clapped. Ryan clinked his glass against mine. I wanted to vomit. Later, as people filtered out, her aunt brushed past me and whispered, "Don't let them drag you down with them, sweetheart. It never ends well." Drag me down with them. Them! The real explosion came when I got home. My phone was lit up, screenshots from friends. Apparently, that voice note, the one I didn't play, She sent it to another group chat too, the one with all our college friends. The transcript, because of course someone sent it to me. Sometimes people don't understand. Ryan and I have a bond, but so does she. It's not competition, it's not betrayal, it's something bigger. I trust her more than anyone. If he ever strayed, at least I know it would be with her, and that's not a loss. That's family. The comments underneath? Chaos. Wait, are you saying you share him? This is twisted. Is Jane even okay with this? Kinda iconic, TBH. I threw my phone across the room. The next morning, I woke up to 50 new messages, some defending me, some accusing me, some just gossiping. And in the middle of it all, one text from Ryan, standing alone like a landmine. Ryan, 7:13 a.m. She said it out loud now. No point hiding. I didn't reply. I couldn't. But my chest hasn't stopped burning since. The thing that kills me is I still don't know if they planned this together or if they're playing separate games. I don't know if Amira actually believes she's sharing me with her husband, or if Ryan manipulated her into normalizing it, or if they both just like watching me squirm. And the terrifying part is I don't know if anyone would believe me if I said I never agreed. After the explosion at the dinner, wow, even calling it the dinner makes me feel like I'm talking about some historic battle instead of a night where I genuinely thought I was going to pass out from holding in all the rage and humiliation. I left. I didn't storm out, I didn't scream, I just stood up, shaky, put my bag on my shoulder, and walked out. Nobody stopped me, nobody followed, which hurt worse than if they had thrown insults at my back. I sat in my car outside, trying to breathe, and my phone lit up like a slot machine. Group chats, private messages, family members, even some neutral friends. I opened one chat and it was just screenshots of me. Me, apparently confessing to things I never said. Little clipped messages out of context like, maybe I overreacted, or sometimes I don't know what's real. Things I did say, sure, but in different conversations, in different moments where I was venting or doubting myself, cut up and stitched together like some kind of Frankenstein monster of my worst insecurities. And the worst part? It looked believable, even to me. I stared at one screenshot so long, I started to wonder if I actually had written it exactly like that. Like maybe I was the unreliable one. Maybe I was so wound up I had forgotten what I said, when I said it, who I said it to. The group chat splintered overnight. One side pretending to be supportive of me, sending me long paragraphs about how they were worried for my mental health, and maybe it would be good if I stepped back from social media, from certain people. The other side didn't even bother hiding their disgust. I was obsessed, jealous, pathetic, the kind of girl who couldn't handle being around people prettier, happier, or more wanted than her. My own cousin sent me a DM that said, word for word, maybe if you didn't make everything a competition, you wouldn't lose so hard. I don't even remember looping her into any of this, but apparently Amira had been busy. Ryan never texted me, not once, which was almost worse than the hate messages. I would have taken anything. Anger, denial, even fake concern. But nothing. Complete silence. Like I'd been written out of the script while everyone else was still acting out their parts. The next morning, I woke up to 3 missed calls from my mother. I thought, finally, someone's on my side. I answered, voice scratchy, ready to spill everything, and she didn't even say hello. She just said, why are you embarrassing yourself like this? Amira had called her, explained everything, how I had misinterpreted things, how my jealous streak was hurting everyone, and she loved me and didn't want me to destroy my relationships. She called my mother and positioned herself as the caring friend trying to protect me from myself. And my mom bought it. Or maybe she wanted to. That was the moment I realized it wasn't just about Ryan. It was never just about him. It was about the story, and I wasn't in control of it anymore. Maybe I never was. For days after, I tried to piece it together. Who started what? When did it tip from awkward to malicious? How much of this was deliberate versus coincidence? But every thread I pulled unraveled into another knot. Screenshots contradicted memories. Voice notes popped up that didn't sound quite right, but also maybe they did. My friends wouldn't look me in the eye. People I'd known for years suddenly spoke to me like I was a stranger they didn't trust. At night, I'd lie awake, phone face down on the table, convinced it would buzz any second with another revelation, another twisted half-truth. Sometimes it did. Sometimes it didn't. And the silence was almost worse than the noise. I thought leaving would solve it. I stopped going to events, muted half the chats, even blocked Amira for a week, but she found ways through. Emails, random numbers, mutual friends, checking in. Her presence was like smoke. It found cracks, slipped under doors, clung to everything. One night, I got a voice note from an unknown number. I almost didn't open it, but I did. It was short, crackly, like it had been forwarded 100 times. It was my voice saying, "I don't care if he's hers, I'll ruin them if it kills me." I swear on everything I love, I never said that. But it was my voice, my intonation, my cadence. I replayed it until my ears ring. Part of me wanted to believe it was fake. Part of me wondered if maybe I had said it in some manic spiral and just blocked it out. That's where I've been stuck ever since, in this gray space where I don't know if I'm the victim of some elaborate smear campaign or if I really am as unhinged as they say. My memories feel slippery. My own words feel like weapons turned against me. The last message I got from Amira was 2 weeks ago. It just said, "I hope you get the help you need. I'll always love you." I blocked her. I blocked Ryan. I blocked half the world. But the thing about smoke is, it doesn't care if you close the windows. It's already in your lungs.